Hey, Joe. Somehow I didn't, it looks like Sherry made me a co-host. But Lynn will be joining us shortly. Our other meeting's running behind. She was almost done. She just wasn't sure if she'd be right on at 7:30.
Okay. Richard? Yes. Richard, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
What is your status regarding the committee? Did you reapply?
I did not because I'm going to run into some conflicts of interest going forward.
Okay, all right. I thought that was the case, but I just wanted to make sure. All right, thanks, Richard. I appreciate it.
Did you say that, did David say he wasn't attending tonight, or was that just for the meetings earlier today?
Our David is not going to be joining tonight.
Okay. Good. I think we do have a quorum, right, Joe?
So far. But I know there are other people coming on,
Okay. Yeah, his Phil.
like Phil. Because Phil and I were at another meeting.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay. Sorry, Joe. I had to say my piece over there before I signed off.
I knew you were gonna. That's
Now
why.
I wish I could listen to the responses. I'll have to watch the replay.
Well, we can go, I was gonna go back if we're still going.
Yeah, I don't know how quick this is gonna be, but it'd be
Yeah.
great to go back to that meeting. Yeah.
Yeah, because I don't understand that, but that's another story.
What are you guys between capital and this one, Joe?
Yep,
Wonderful. My capital appointment was last night.
yeah, but we axed it all today, so don't worry.
Easier than a colonoscopy, Tim. That's okay.
Right. No problem at all, Tim.
Yeah.
We handle that quickly.
It's all nose across the board. That's perfect.
Yep, absolutely.
Jesus.
It's easy just to scratch things off.
Hey, I get it.
Oh, no.
No harm done.
So Tim, do you think, how long do you think Lynn's gonna be? Do you know?
I just texted her and her response is questions abound. So that doesn't sound quick.
That doesn't sound. All right. All right, John is. Okay, all right, let's start the meeting. I don't think it's gonna be long. We have review of the minutes for the March. Well, first off, is there any public participation? Hearing none. First is review of the minutes from March 9th, 2023. Is there a motion? Do I hear a motion?
I move that we approve the minutes from March 9th.
I second that motion.
Any discussion? Hearing no discussion. Are there any objections to approving the minutes? Hearing no objection, the minutes approved.
So the first is we basically have the 3 contract amendments for extended basic services for left field as the OPM, SMA as the architect, and bonds. Contract amendment is just through the rest of pre-construction. It doesn't, the GMP will be established at a later date when the bids come in.
Are there any questions? Let's take one by a time. The OPM contract amendment for extended basic services contingent upon the project. Obviously the project was approved. This goes to the very end of the project. Is that correct?
Correct. Goes all the way through December 2028.
Were there any questions or comments regarding this particular amendment? I had spoken to Lynn earlier today, and according to the MSBA, these are kind of set percentages regarding the amounts, if people had wondered about that.
And also the amounts that have been carried in the budget today.
Correct. And that been approved by the MSBA. I had one question, Tim.
Mhm.
It has to do with the construction phase, obviously the largest part of it. What will be the OPM's duties during that construction phase?
So besides Lynn and I, we will have on-site staff. Our
Really?
basic. Yep, we will have just like Mark LaFleur was last time on the Galvin project.
Okay,
During certain phases, we may have 2 people out there. Adam Keene will most likely be handling the permitting, similar to what he did with public safety. And any some of the construction logistics, as well as Jay Faxon, even though we will be assigned a commissioning agent, will be doing his own on-site observations as well. He's currently doing the commissioning for you on the public safety building.
are there any other questions or comments?
Yeah, I had a question. I guess the MSBA bases these off of percentages of the estimated fee. It just seems like a high. This is a general comment too across all the amendments here. There's no backup. There's no like estimated hours, and it just seems like a large amount of money without any backup or anything on that. And that was my big comment.
Yeah, that was the question I had of Lynn, and that's what she told me, is that what it is done is MSBA is a set percentage regarding each and every one of these. And that's what it's based on. That's all I can tell you.
Joe, is that based on a percentage of the entire budget cost?
Correct. Isn't that right, Tim?
Construction budget.
The construction budget, right?
Do they need to be lump sum? Could we do a time and materials rather than that? I mean, it just seems, especially if it's an estimate, it's off of an estimate in a preliminary design. It just seems premature. But I mean, if that's how they do it, I don't know, but it
So,
just seems odd.
I've never personally been on a project where the OPM or designer do T&M. It's always lump sum.
And there's a set fee for each month.
Right. And that breakdown was in the meeting materials packet that was sent out.
And I will tell you that all the money isn't used in any one of these line items. It goes back to the town and the project. So like if reimbursable services don't come up to 25,000, then it comes back. If cost estimating doesn't come up to 75, it comes back to the project.
Is there a chance it could go over?
No,
No,
No chance.
right?
No, it's
So
not
how-
not to exceed.
On a monthly basis, we will be approving a portion of these numbers, correct?
Correct.
Are they on site every day?
Yes. During the construction, yes. Matter of fact, like sometimes as he just indicated, sometimes two people.
And then we have various other specialties that will be making periodic visits as well during the different phases.
I mean, you say we get money back, but those are little items. And if it's a lump sum on 5.5 million and it is not used, I mean, how does that, we wouldn't get anything back on that.
No, I don't think so. I think that's a set amount. I think it's a monthly,
right, that gets broken out into per month.
right? As does the construction document phase, as does the bidding phase, I believe.
Yeah, those are all their costs.
Right. And they would be authorized monthly per payment.
And for example, in the bidding phase, just as an example, I know we are carrying the cost for the bidding. You know, we're gonna most likely bid this electronically, but so you know, some contractors will want full printed sets and stuff. So there is money set aside for that as well within the bidding phase number.
Any further questions or comments?
I feel mean that I always make my bidders print their own documents.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I mean, isn't that what we do
Like, I never-
nowadays? We don't charge.
I never
For-
provide them
for
anymore,
that.
but again, that's a
Yeah.
private move, maybe.
Well, you're mean, Phil, so that's,
I mean,
Just
All
a
our stuff
contract.
is free electronic, and then it's, if they're printing, they're on their own.
seems to me that makes sense. All right, any other questions, comments?
well, just so how it works is that they're on their own if they return the sets. Or if they don't return, if they keep them for whatever reason, but if they return them, they get their money back. That's the way the law is written.
Thanks.
I'm not gonna say it makes sense. I'm just gonna say that's what it is.
It's okay. It's a good answer. Thanks.
Anyone else? All right.
I move that we approve the OPM contract amendment for extended basic services for the sum of $7,932,981.
I will second that amendment.
That's a not to exceed.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Correct.
Any further discussion? Hearing none. Wayne,
Yes.
Jason,
Yes,
Chip,
Yes,
Mark,
Yes.
Bill,
Yes.
John?
Yes.
Richard,
Yes.
did I miss anybody? I don't think Tom's on. Hey?
No, he's in Europe. So I will let Lorraine or Helen speak to this contract if there are any questions. This is SMMA's contract for extended services.
Sure, thanks. Helen, do you want to walk through? Would you prefer me to?
Sure. Yeah, I can take people through. So of course, the first column is for the feasibility and schematic. So that is rolled into that. The bottom line is the 22.377 million. And you'll see DD construction documents, bidding, construction. Then we have a closeout phase that goes beyond 10 months beyond the completion of construction, where any of the commissioning issues get worked through. And so those phases really comprise the architectural and engineering fee. And then, of course, beyond that, we've got our budget for reimbursable services, which were all of those proposals that were attached in the packets that went out. So again, those are budgets. If you did look at the proposals themselves, they don't exactly equal. There is money, there's space in some of those budgets still. So to Tim's earlier point, if we don't use any of that up or all of that up, that would be going back to the town. But that is essentially how our budget has been built.
What, Helen, what are some of the examples of things that are not used up that go back to the town?
Sure. So for instance, we've got a budget of 75,000 for a site survey. Right now, we have a proposal in your packet for 10,000. That's to complete some of the work that was started in the earlier phases. So we have space in that budget to use for some of the survey work that we talked about along Farm Street. However, if the town elects to do that separately or some other way, that would be a savings.
Okay. Are there any questions or comments? Okay.
I move that we approve the A&E contract amendment for extended basic services for SMMA in the sum of $22,377,620.
I will second that amendment.
Any further discussion? Hearing none. Wayne,
Yes,
Jason,
Yep.
Chip,
Yes.
Mark,
Yes.
Phil,
Yes.
John?
Yes.
Richard,
Yes.
unanimous.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next up is
Hello,
approval.
Lynn.
Where did you come
Hey.
from?
Yeah, hey,
Sorry, I'm
hey.
late.
Oh, he's coming at
just-
the end.
I just heard the silence, so I thought I would jump right in.
Yeah, yeah, figured as much.
So this is the bonds contract amendment for extended pre-construction services until we get to the GMP. And it's for $340,000. And that'll take us from now until the spring of 2024.
Now, Lynn, is this based on any kind of standard or?
This is based on their contract and their monthly rate of billing for pre-construction.
And that's what they carried in their fee proposal, right?
Yes.
With an extension of the 2 months that we had.
Right, right.
And is this, how is this going to be dealt with? I don't have the other part of it. Is it going to be dealt with on a set amount per month?
Set amount per month, yes.
Okay.
And what are they doing during this stage of, we don't have construction documents, so what are they doing as a contractor for pre-construction?
So
We've already started our construction logistics meetings and pre-planning. We're going to be looking at when we can start early packages and working through design issues as we go from a constructability standpoint, and just, really getting familiar with the design and the contract documents. The team all works hand in hand throughout this next phase of the process.
They also
That-
do all the estimating during they have their comparable estimate at every stage.
And that's
Oh,
part of
and
the three,
Jonathan's on, so he can speak to it as well.
is the estimating part of the 340,000?
Yes, it is.
Okay,
So we have estimates at the 100% DD and then 2 different CD points as well, included in this, along with, as Lynn said, constructability reviews at the different stages, any value management, lead or sustainability input we can add, and then developing logistics and permitting.
Great, thank you.
any other questions or comments?
Yeah, just a quick question, Lynn, is this something that Left Field would approve?
Yes,
Yes.
this is part of the contract for construction management services. We asked for a fee for getting us through schematic design and approval of the process of the project so that we can move forward. And then we also asked for their monthly rate for providing pre-construction services throughout the design process and up to bidding.
Okay.
Anybody else, any questions or comments? Hearing none.
I move that we approve the CM contract amendment for extended basic services through pre-construction services for bond for the sum of $340,000.
And I will second.
Lynn,
Yes?
there's a 0 missing in here too, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes,
Okay.
I will fix that before posting to the website.
yeah, we'll make it 34,000.
That sounds better.
Any other discussion? Hearing none. Wayne,
Yes.
Jason,
Yes.
Chip,
Yes.
Mark,
Yes.
Bill,
Yes,
John?
Yes.
Richard,
Yes.
unanimous. Right, Lynn?
Okay, next. Tim? Okay, there you go.
Oh, yeah.
We have one more item to ask for approval of. And the MSBA provide us the project scope and budget agreement. It needs to be signed and we need your approval to sign it. It has been reviewed by Tom Mullen and he has provided his legal certification. And it's a basic contract with MSBA that basically says that they intend to fund the project based on the scope and the budget that they received at schematic design. This is a preliminary agreement until we get to the funding agreement, which will go more in depth to stating their reimbursement policies and stuff, and what our likely reimbursement will be, which is what you've all seen that we came out of the last MSBA board meeting. But this is basically giving their intent to fund the project based on the scope and budget that we submitted at schematic design. It needs a signature and you have to authorize that Joe, as the chair of the building committee, sign the agreement. So this is the vote language that they would like to see. If someone wanted to, if you don't have any questions, somebody wants to make it a motion to using the vote language.
Is this the original like groundbreaking to get this project started?
This is MSBA's commitment based on our schematic design submission, and it will be followed up by a project funding agreement, which outlines their participation in funding the project.
I took a look at it. It's pretty detailed, about 11 pages long.
someone needs to make a motion.
Yeah, but I was waiting for questions.
Oh, I'm
Yeah, are there
sorry.
any other questions? All right, Chip,
I move that we move to vote to approve the project scope and budget agreement, the PSBA, between the town of Wakefield and the MSBA for the Wakefield Memorial High School project, and to authorize you, Mr. Chairman, as the chair of the Permanent Building Committee, Joseph Bertrand, to execute said agreement.
All right, I will second that.
yeah. And it's my name. Thanks a lot here.
It really means that Joe's name goes on the 274 million, so.
273 million, and it's my name on it.
You're
Thanks a
never
lot,
getting out of
guys.
it now, Joe. That's
Yep,
it.
okay, we'll have a collection later.
Thank you, Joe.
Peanut butter and jelly.
There any other questions or comments? Wayne,
Yes,
Jason,
Yes,
Chip,
Yes.
Mark,
Yes.
Bill,
Yes.
John,
Yes.
and Richard.
Yes.
You see how they're so eager to vote to, say yes to this one. Okay, unanimous.
all right.
Lynn,
That's it for tonight.
okay.
Our
The next meeting scheduled is April 13th.
Yes.
Does anybody have any issues they wish to discuss before we adjourn?
just a quick question. Does the school building committee have input on this project also? Aren't they a part of this? The school?
Yes.
building-
But they're non-voting, right?
No, I understand that. but,
Yeah.
Okay. I guess it's from my standpoint, being a taxpayer, we have been involved in quite a few building projects here and in North Reading. This is probably the largest, maybe I'm wrong, but the largest financial commitment the town is going to be making. Me as the taxpayer and on the building committee, this is pretty incredible. It's a noble undertaking, and it'll benefit the town probably for the next at least half a century. It is pretty amazing. So it's great to be proud of it. Thank you.
Thanks, Wayne. All right, any other questions or comments? All right, thank you, everybody. April 13th will be the next meeting, unless there's something crazy that happens in the
I
meantime.
move that we adjourn.
I second.
All in favor,
Night.
click leave meeting. Good night.
Good night.
Care, everybody.
Good night.
Night.
Good
Are
night.
you going back to that other meeting?
Oh, yeah, they're still talking. I'm
Are
going
they?
back in.
Okay. All right, I'll go back to. Thanks a lot.
Bye.
Thanks, Lynn.
Thanks, Lynn.